Good morning and welcome to Warrior Wisdom Wednesday on Coffee with Alain. Hope your week is going well. You know, on many Wednesdays, I like to share a little bit of warrior wisdom, things from the martial arts and different texts, old and new. Today, I wanted to share something out of Bruce Lee's Tao of Jeet Kune, and we're going to be talking about balance. Very important concept. So we're going to share some of Bruce Lee's thoughts on balance out of the Tao of Jeet Kune. Before I get on with that, thank everybody that watches and listens. You guys are all greatly appreciated. Those that have signed up for the newsletter, really appreciate that. I hope you're finding value in that every week. I mean, it's free, and I try to provide things on staying safe and defending yourself and warrior wisdom and martial arts, enjoying life and being exceptional. If you haven't signed up for that yet, get it at enjoylifesafely.com. You can download one or both of the ebooks there that are free. They're both on staying safe, keeping your family, keeping them safe in this crazy world. Then you'll also get the newsletter on the weekends with more information just to help make your life better. So go and do that, enjoylifesafely.com. Now, let's talk a little bit about Bruce Lee, Tao of Jeet Kune. And I'm sitting here drinking out of a mug with a bunch of fellow martial artists from the Korean Martial Art Festival. So good company there on the mug. Great old text. Now, this is the old one. You can get an expanded version of this book. I got one back on the shelf too, but I grabbed the old original version to look at this morning. So when he writes about balance, the first thing Bruce wrote about balance is the all-important factor in a fighter's attitude or stance. Without balance at all times, he can never be effective. And I'd have to agree with that. Balance is so important to be effective. Not just fighting, not just competing, but in life. So sometimes we're out of balance on purpose, and that's okay when we're doing it on purpose. But balance is so important. Bruce goes on, balance is achieved only through correct body alignment. The feet, the legs, the trunk, the head are all important in creating and maintaining a balanced position. They are the vehicles of body force. Keeping the feet in proper relation to each other, as well as the body, helps to maintain correct body alignment. When I'm teaching Hapkido, always trying to make sure people keep aligned where they can have the most power into their techniques. You start bending over and trying to do it without using your legs, straight legs bent over, you don't have any of the pressure you do when you're aligned and you're using your hips, using your legs, you're keeping balanced. Not only will you be more powerful, but it's more difficult for an opponent to counter you and then pull you off balance and topple you. So yes, the correct body alignment is so important in many of the techniques, whether it's joint locks, throws, kicking, punching, it doesn't matter. The correct body alignment and balance will enhance any technique you do in the martial arts. Bruce goes on. I'm going to skip a little parts. I'm only going to read parts of this because I don't want to read the whole book to you. Go get the book yourself. Read it. Explore it. Think about it. Look how it applies to you. But I do want to read this. The secret of a proper balance in the proper stance is to keep the feet directly under the body, which means they should be a medium distance apart. Either the weight is balanced over both legs, or, as in Western boxing, it is carried slightly forward over the lead leg. The lead leg is fairly straight, and the knee is loose and easy, not locked. The lead side of the body forms a straight line from the lead heel to the tip of the lead shoulder. This position permits relaxation, speed, balance, and easy movement, as well as mechanical advantage, making possible tremendous power. There's a lot there. Now, there are times where we want an extra wide stance or a narrow stance for certain things. I understand that. But I think what Bruce is saying here is by keeping your feet under you and keeping the balance so you can have relaxation, speed, easy movement while you're balanced to move, So important. Dixon's here. Good morning, Dixon. That sounds like Wing Chun precepts to me. And it is, obviously. That was, his foundational arts. And so those are coming. I mean, he does mention Western boxing in there too, which was influenced. I mean, Bruce Lee studied a ton. And he tried to incorporate things. And, a lot of times you'll have a book of his writings and sayings, and people say, oh, that he didn't write that. Someone else said it. Well, yeah, because he studied and read so much and then made these notes. And then they compiled things from his notes. But you're right. A lot of this does come from his Wing Chun background. Want to skip forward here. One part that he talks about for postural habits: lower the center of gravity, keep a base with lateral width, keep weight on the balls of the feet, knees are rarely straightened, even in running, a center of gravity kept under delicate and rapid motion are characteristic habits of athletes in games that require sudden and frequent changes of direction. Now, when he talks about keeping the weight on the balls of the feet, there's a couple things, because I teach people on this when we're moving and so forth. When you're on the balls of your feet, you can be quicker and faster. You also will get a little bit tired a little bit more. When you're flat-footed, you won't get tired quite as easy, but you're not going to be quite as fast. Now, you see that with boxers. When they're fresh and really light feet, and they'll be up on their toes. Remember Sugar Ray? I mean, he'd be dancing around just fast as could be on his toes and just quick. You watch at the end of a fight when they're just fatigued, not quite as much on the toes and bouncing around. They can be a little bit more flat. They're keeping their balance. They got a little bit more balance, flat-footed when you're tired and so forth, but you don't have the speed. So you have to judge that depending on what you're doing and what kind of technique and goal that you have for your movement and balance. I like here, one should seek good balance in motion and not in stillness. Okay. I think we need to have balance all the time. So I don't know why he said not in stillness. We want good balance in motion, but we want to have good balance when we're still as well. So I'm not sure why he said that. If you have an interpretation of that, let me know. Again, when we look at these older books and we're reading, we want to not just read and read the words. We want to think about it, incorporate it, try to understand it, maybe disagree with it. And that's okay, as long as we're contemplating things and analyzing them to make ourselves better. And that's why I share this with you, is so you can get a little bit out of this, make yourself better, maybe encourage you to go read more of maybe this text itself, develop yourself, develop your habits of learning as well as training. Balance must be under control at all times so that the fighter will not lose his control in the middle of an action. And that makes just common sense. We always want to be in balance. Once you lose your balance, you can lose everything. So that's pretty straightforward and easy to understand. When he talks about training age for balance, one of the things he says, feel for the proper relation of the feet to each other and to the body while attacking in combination, retreating, and countering. Note their positioning for all types of hits and kicks. So what he's getting at here to me is when you are training, whatever you're practicing, pay attention to your balance. Analyze yourself. Am I in the best balance when I'm executing this punch, this kick, this joint lock, this throw? Am I off balance? If I'm off balance, why? Analyze that. Oh, if I move my foot this much more, I'd be better balanced and my technique would be more effective. Oh, if I straighten my back and put my head above my spine, I'd be in better balance and this technique would be more effective. So analyze, and what he's saying, feel the proper balance, feel the imbalance when you're doing things so you can correct it to be more effective, more in balance with all of your techniques. So that's just a little bit I wanted to share out of the Tao of Jeet Kune Do of Bruce Lee's. A book I encourage you to read if you're a martial artist. And then again, don't just read it, adapt it, fine tune it, figure out how it can apply to what you are doing with your training. You may disagree. You may find a gym that really helps you. All of that is good for our learning and development. And as martial artists, we should always be learning, always be developing ourselves, our brain and our body and our spirit. Body, mind, spirit. We need to be working on all of that. And he touches on things for all of that in this book. And that's why it's a classic. And millions have been sold, the old copy and the new expanded version. Maybe I'll pull that out one of these days and show you that one too. Hope you got a little bit out of this. Again, sign up for the newsletter, enjoylifesafely.com. A lot of stuff I'll put in that, help you along your path. It's the 8th of January. 1 week of the year is gone. I hope you made that week count. Hope you started fast. If you didn't, kick it into high gear and let's get going. We only have 51 weeks left to make our 2025 goals fantastic. So let's do it. Let's do it together. Appreciate all of you. Make it a Warrior Wisdom wonderful Wednesday, and I will see you tomorrow.